and treatments. Your hair says a lot about you. Long, short, bouncy, or sleek, for most women hair is way more than a bundle of fibers. It's an expression of your style and personality. But if you start to lose your hair, it can really freak you out. Hair loss isn't just a guy thing. Whether it's short or long-term, women lose hair the same way men do. It might thin all over, or your center part could get wider and wider. You might even get a bald spot at the crown of your head. One thing women rarely have: a receding front hairline. How does hair grow? Your scalp is home to about 100,000 hairs. Each one has its own life cycle. A follicle produces a single hair that grows at a rate of ½ an inch per month. It hangs in there for 2 to 6 years, then stops for about a month. When the next cycle starts up, that hair falls out. At any given time, most of your locks are in the growth phase. How much hair loss is normal? Most people shed about 50 to 100 strands every day. Don't worry if you find a few in your hairbrush or on your clothes. But if it starts to fall out in clumps, or if you notice it getting thinner over time, check with your doctor. What are the roots of hair loss? There's no single cause. Triggers range from medical conditions, as many as 30, to stress and lifestyle factors, like what you eat. Your genes play a role too. Sometimes doctors can't find a specific reason. As a starting point, hair loss experts suggest you get tested for thyroid problems and hormone imbalances. Hair often grows back once the cause is addressed. Can you measure hair loss? Yes. Doctors use the Saving scale. It ranges from normal hair density to a bald crown, which is rare. The scale helps document female pattern baldness, a condition your doctor might call androgenic alopecia. You probably know it is male pattern baldness, but it affects about 30 million American women. Experts think genes and aging play a role, along with the hormonal changes of menopause. Your hair could thin all over, with the greatest loss along the center of the scalp. Hair loss trigger: thyroid problems. This butterfly-shaped gland at the front of your neck pumps out chemicals that keep your body humming along. If it makes too much or too little thyroid hormone, your hair growth cycle might take a hit. But thinner locks are rarely the only sign of a thyroid problem. You might lose or gain weight, become sensitive to cold or heat, or notice changes in your heart rate. Hair loss trigger. PCOS. If you have polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, your hormones are always out of whack. Your body makes more male hormones, or androgen, than it should. This can cause extra hair to sprout on your face and body, while the hair on your head thins out. PCOS can also lead to ovulation problems, acne, and weight gain. But sometimes thinning hair is the only obvious sign. Hair loss trigger. Alopecia areata. Alopecia areata causes hair to fall out in big patches. The culprit is your own immune system, which attacks healthy hair follicles by mistake. In most cases, the damage isn't permanent. The missing locks should grow back in 6 months to a year. Some people lose all the hair on their scalp and body, but that's rare. Hair loss trigger. Ringworm. When the ringworm fungus affects your scalp, it triggers a distinct hair loss pattern: itchy, round bald patches. They might also look scaly and red. Your doctor will treat it with antifungal medication. It's easy to spread by direct contact, so check your family members for symptoms too. Hair loss trigger. Childbirth. You might notice your hair seems fuller during pregnancy. That's because high hormone levels keep resting hairs from falling out. But after the baby comes, things go back to normal, and those strands will fall out quickly. You could lose a lot of hair at once. It could take up to 2 years for your locks to return to normal. Hair loss trigger. The pill. The hormones that suppress ovulation could cause your hair to thin. It's more likely if you have a family history of hair loss. It might happen when you stop taking the pill. Other drugs linked to hair loss include blood thinners and medicines that treat high blood pressure, heart disease, arthritis, and depression. Hair loss trigger. Crash diets. You may lose more than weight with a fad diet. And if you drop 15 pounds or more, you might also shed some hair a few months down the road. Don't worry too much, it'll return when you are back on a healthy diet. Be prepared to shed some locks if you are getting too much vitamin A or not enough protein. Hair loss trigger. Tight hairstyles. It's no myth. Wearing cornrows or tight ponytails can irritate your scalp and cause hair to fall out. The same goes for using tight rollers. Let your hair down, and it should grow back normally. Be aware that long-term use of these styles can scar your scalp and lead to permanent hair loss. Hair loss trigger: cancer treatment. Chemo and radiation therapy, two of the most